Okay, it's running.
We're live.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome to today's webinar. I'm Josh, the founder of NoCodeFounders, and today we're co-hosting with Triggre, a no-code platform. And we're also joined today by Bob Slikkerveer, who will walk us through how he's used Triggre to achieve 100% growth in his company in 6 months, doubling his staff to over 47 employees. Bob runs Mistara, a cold sales agency, and he's used Triggre to combine multiple of his internal processes into a single tool. So I'm not going to take up any more time. I'll pass over to Jesse from Triggre to walk us through how we're going to do the webinar.
Yes. Thanks, Joshua. So welcome, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at an application of one of our customers, Bob, as Joshua said. But first, a couple of things. If you're in the webinar, if you're checking this out on the live stream, you can also still join the webinar because you can ask questions there. We try to do it on the live streams as well. If we see them, we'll try to answer them. If you're in the webinar, at the bottom of your screen, you have this this bar. It says chat and raise hand Q&A. Now, if you have a question to us, please use the Q&A button because it makes the question go into a list, which means that we can easily identify it later on. And if we ask you answer a question from us, for example, you can use the chat button to do that. Today we're coming in live from, well, I at least am in Amsterdam. We're in the Netherlands. Bob is in the Netherlands as well, but Joshua is not. Joshua is in today.
Scotland, UK.
Okay. So we usually have people from all over the place. I see that we currently have more people on the live stream. I'll skip asking where everyone's from today, so we give Bob most of the time for today. So the question here is, what you can expect for today is, well, you will learn 3 little things. 1, Bob will tell you how he grew this company by 100% in 6 months. But also you will see a demo of his application that he uses in his company that sort of supported him in this growth. And if you stay in the webinar till the end, we have a special offer for you. So if you're on live stream and you want to still get that gift, you can still just join by using the link, and you also get that gift at the end. We'll have a special offer for you at the end as well, and that is for everyone. So it will just be a link. So at the end, as I said, a free gift. If you stay at the end, one of our partners, Bauer, there he is. He wrote this really cool, let's call it an atlas. It's a book about coding. Bauer has a lot of experience with that. It's about coding and how coding sort of evolved into no code over the time and what the different things are. And he explains it in a super easy way. So if you stick in the webinar to the end, you will get a copy of The World of Udi. My name is Jesse. I'm the co-founder and I do product and marketing at Triggre. I have a master's in software engineering. I am the co-founder of 3 SaaS companies so far. My first one was at 19. With those companies, I've serviced customers from enterprise companies all the way through small, medium businesses, even those that just had 1 or 0 employees. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to actually see an application of something that we have found really interesting. And I dug up this picture. This picture is what my business partner, Mark, and I actually used way back in the day to sort of show the idea that we had. You can see it's a really old phone. And the idea was that if you have this platform with which you can build software, that you could basically on your commute, you know, it's the end of the day, you're in your commute and you have this idea for a business application change that you have. So you have some process and want to make a change. You could actually do that on your phone. You could publish your application, and before your commute's over, it would be live. Now, this was the image that we sort of used with that. And as often, the reality is a little bit different because we ended up with Bob, which is much better than this guy. but this is what you used back then. So it's really cool to see that our vision has basically come to life over the years. And now that actually business user founders can use our platform to actually build software in very little time. More on that later, but Bob, to give you an idea, we have a lot of businesses that actually nowadays use Triggre. Masada is also in there. And these companies use Triggre basically to support their business processes, complex business applications, as you will see in Bob's application. Yeah, basically what sets it apart is that they can actually do it themselves. They don't need to have someone with technical knowledge in their team or hire that externally. They can just build it themselves. Now, like I said, instead of the guy from the picture, we have Bob, and Bob is the founder at Mastada, which he founded in early 2019 only. And what Bob did was he replaced 3 tools with 1 Triggre application, if I'm not mistaken, but Bob will correct me later if I mess this up. It was a CRM system, a proposal tool, and a customer portal. That was the first reason actually that he started using Triggre. And then he transformed Mastada into a franchise business. And also for that process, he told us that he used Triggre, and that franchise allowed him to grow his company by 100% in 6 months, which is awesome. So that's something that we're going to look at right now. So what I will do is I'll just hand the floor to Bob, because what's more interesting than hearing him tell you how he did that and show you what he used to do it. So Bob, if you want, you can take over the screen share and get going. Clicking buttons. There we go.
Thank you, Jesse. I had to click some buttons indeed.
Yeah.
So good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Slikkerveer. I have founded Mastada in early 2019. And actually what we are doing is helping companies, small, medium, also some larger companies with their, the first step in sales is the cold sales, just to get our customers at the table of their potential customers. And it's not just cold calling with a list of customers, potential customers, prospects. It's an whole project. It's a whole process that we take. So we were using all kind of different systems, software, like the CRM, like the customer platform, like the employee platform, and it was okay. It were fine softwares, but it was just not fitted to our company processes, and that made us search for other solutions, and we couldn't find anything. In a moment, I just saw on Instagram something passing by from Triggre, and I clicked on it and start practicing with it and see if it was a solution for us as well. And it was kind of fun to do it. I have zero experience in coding, zero experience in building platforms or softwares or anything. My specialty is sales, and always has been. But I started playing with it, and I actually found it quite easy to build a platform for us, starting with the CRM. So I started building for the CRM. In a couple of days, I had my CRM. It was very amazing, and that made me enthusiastic enough to continue to build further. And actually, everything is now based on the Triggre platform. Everything we use, every business process we have, is running by Triggre. So I can show you something that we have built. It's still work in progress, but we have actually made it live because we can also already work with it. So I can run through it with it. As we started with the CRM. This is a personal overview of the tasks that are open, the meetings that are open, that will be coming. You can click on it. You can see the details of the task. Same as for the meetings. We can add the companies. This is a demo, so normally there are much more companies in our system, but just for the demo, we have added some examples. So we can very easily add a company name. We can also add a contact person, and even the meetings and the tasks and the opportunity. And this is something that we have created that was very necessary for a company. That was that we had the possibility to send the offer, the quotation, to our prospect, and that they can also sign it online. And not even that, if they sign it, they can automatically go to their customer portal, and everything is already in their portal. So we started building that as well, and it was actually quite easy to do that and to perform that. So if you see, we can select a company, we can say the date that they will actually sign the contract, what we're expecting. We can click on the company and we can send the offer. So we can select the product, we can send, now what we need is the amount of hours, the calling hours, sales hours, the price, and some more price. And we can add a logo of our potential customer. And then we proceed and we can actually send it to our prospect. They will receive a link in their email. They can click on it and they can see their quotation online. They can read it and they can actually sign it online. And if they sign it, they will automatically come to their customer portal, and that's how it's looked like this. It's the logo is on the left. They have their the information, contact information, our information, and the signed contract that's already in the portal. What they also have is the planning. They have the planning in their portal. They can see when our agent is calling for them, they will receive a notification. Your agent has started the campaign, and they can see actually the live calls that the agent is making at the moment. So if they refresh the page, they will every time see a new call passing by, and they can read the comments on it as well. So what they also have is a dashboard. They can select a date from, a date till, and they can see how many calls there were made, and they can also see what the actual outcome was of the call. And if they click underneath the outcome of the call, they can see here the complete comments on the call. So it's quite nice for the customer to see actually what is happening from our side, because we work on the backstage. I call it backstage. They cannot see what we do, but they can now read everything that we are doing.
How did you do this before, Bob? Like before you had this made?
Yeah, like I told, we had all kind of different softwares, and it was fine, but not suited to our processes. So actually, what we are now doing with Triggre is not something that we did or could have done with the other softwares. And that's the amazing thing. You know exactly how your processes are, and you know exactly you have in mind how it should look like. And that's something that you can build with Triggre. I can show you the backside of Triggre.
We're getting into the nitty-gritty details now. Here we go.
This is very detailed, but just to show, you know, everything you build from the one to the other. That's very nice to do.
So if I understand correctly, basically what you're saying is also that having this application that sort of really is very close to your own processes, or basically you've built your own process in this application, that gives you, I imagine, at least a competitive advantage, because this is something unique that is your company in here, and not like someone who decided, oh, this is what CRM should be like, or this is what a sales application should be like, right?
Absolutely, and it's completely suited and fitted to our company processes. And the great thing is that I also get feedback from my employees, and every time you get a feedback, you can just add it or adjust it whenever you want.
Yeah, so you're
that's
much quicker to adapt to anything that they might see, like, hey, this is not handy, this button is not, like, this takes me a little bit too long to do this, or I would really like to add this or this to a call, then you can make that in no time, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
And just also the small things, the small details. I just want that button on the top of the page, and they can get it within seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. So we also have, just let me change this for our employees. They have also their own portal. They will have their contact details, of course. They have the forms they were needed for the taxes and sort of things, passport and address. They also have their pay slips every month in the portal. They can download it. They can also use this button to email it to their email address.
Wow.
And also the holidays. They can request for the holidays just simply by.
So it's also HR. Are you saying
Exactly.
that I forgot to mention that you also implemented HR?
Yeah, I think we will
I'm so
discover
sorry.
more things that we have added to it. So you can just say what date you want to have your holiday. It will be sent to HR. HR can approve or disapprove. It's very handy. They can go to their planning, so they see exactly for which customer they are calling, for which campaign they are calling. And they can go, and that's the other way. The other thing that you didn't mention is the calling application. That's something that we used from an external company. Very, very expensive. It costs us a lot of money every month. So we started building this as well, and it's amazing. Everybody is using it now for a couple of months, and it's way better than we had with the external company. The agent, when they start calling for the campaign, they see all the details of the customer in the first page. They can start the campaign, which means that our customer will receive a notification your campaign has started. They can read, like I just showed you, with all the calls. They can go to the calling list. All the prospects are loaded in, uploaded in the system. And then just basically click on it, and they can here do the call. Normally, there's a green phone icon, and that will launch the external phone VoIP, the VoIP phone, and they start calling, and they have a lot of outcomes of the call. If they do an appointment, the customer will receive the appointment details, and the prospect will receive the date and every details. And everything has its own steps. And I will not show you all the details on the backside, because it's an amazing, large detailed flows. But it works, and the great thing, like I said, I had no experience whatsoever in building any platforms or software. So if I can do it, everyone can do it. So this is basically what we have made. It's for us. It's complete, and we keep on building, and we keep on adding things, and keep on improving it.
I was going to say, I think that last we spoke, or at least I didn't know that the HR stuff was in there already. So that was something that surprises me for sure. But basically, like this part, this is what you started with, right? The CRM and the proposals. I know that. And you told me you use for the calling, like you said, the icon, you use a web, like a browser plugin, I think, that just puts a call there.
Yeah.
That's how you got started, right? Because that's how we first met when you built that.
Yeah.
But then what I found really interesting. So what happened? Just to explain to everyone. So we asked Bob to come in to record a testimonial with us, and he comes in, and my business partner Mark says, he's now there with like 40 people or something. And I'm like, 40 people, but wasn't it like only like 20, like 6 months ago? And Bob and Mark was like, yeah, I think you're right. So we asked Bob, like, well, what happened? And Bob said to us that you said that you actually built a complete franchise now, and you also use Triggre to support that business process, right? Which completely blew my mind because I had no idea that you had done that. But it's really cool.
Yeah, we started a franchise just to increase the growth that we already had and double it, and it worked out. So now in a couple of months we have the locations Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Utrecht, and also in Den Bosch, the southern of the Netherlands. And while doing while the lawyers were setting up all the franchise, I was building the franchise portal, and
Wow.
everybody's on the same page, and you can hide the details of other locations for each other, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Cool. And so what is the so when you say the franchise, basically what I understand is that that's basically a multi-tenant application. So people from like one franchise, let's say Rotterdam, you named, right, and Amsterdam, two franchises, that the people from Amsterdam only have their leads, their customers in their portal, and people from Rotterdam have theirs in their portal. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly that's the thing. And according to the law, you cannot see each other's data. So
yeah, of
it's
course,
all
GDPR. Yeah.
So that's also possible with Triggre. It's,
Do you want to show a little bit of how you built some things, because that might be interesting?
Sure. So this is the data part. You start with the data part. You just add a data block, and then start adding the things that you want to have in it. But the nice thing is the user flows. That's the user flows you build. You build everything. So if you take the call application, you see how long it takes to load it.
Yeah.
These are all the steps we just saw in the application. So actually, what you do is you just build a page, and from there you go to every step you want to take. And for me, it was quite easy, as I had every step in my mind, and just run through the agent that or call agents. What do they have to do every step, and then edit, and then you get something like like this. It's very huge.
Yeah, this looks like it will be high on the list of the bigger flows that we've seen.
Yeah, it should be. And the amazing thing is I built it in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that is insane. That is really cool. So so you how do you then how do you handle sort of like building new things on top of it? Do you how does that work in your company? Because like you said, you get a lot of feedback, right? So I can imagine that you get feedback from more sides now that you have the franchise part. So you have 3 feedback loops, I guess: employees, customers, and franchise companies that people that franchise. How do you go about that?
For now, they have an email address. They can send all the requests. It's like sort of support mail address, and they're all very, very helpful. You know, everybody knows we have a new platform and we are working with a new platform. So they're very willing to help and put their ideas, give their ideas. But we actually are building now on Triggre the request page for them to do that, and then we can prioritize the points. Actually, like I said, everything is on one platform now. Everybody is connected to the same platform.
Wow, that is cool. Yeah, of course you built that into the application itself, because where else would you put that? That's a really handy tool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you want to show to people that they absolutely must see?
I think I have run through everything now. I cannot show the franchise portal as it's not in the demo. but I think I have shown a view of our platform with everything in it, and we are still building it. So the invoicing will be added soon, and then we will have none external software anymore, and everything is running by this. So the good thing for us, and the investment for us was time. So we had to invest time in it, especially me. But the further you come in the process, you get familiar with every steps and every possibilities of Triggre, and it's going much quicker now than in the beginning, of course. And I think if I can count the support from Triggre to myself, I can count it on one hand. I think it was 4 or 5 times that I needed the support of Triggre, and they were very quick as well. But it's very easy to create. That's the thing I want to share.
Cool. I see that we have a question that is about your application, I think, but Robert, you're going to have to help me out here, because someone asked dashboard ? So I'm assuming that what they're asking about is like what is how did you make the dashboard, or can you sort of show it again?
I think it was in the customer portal.
Yeah.
Let me just switch back.
So I hope I got your question right, Robert.
Yeah, the dashboard. So because everything is connected to each other, all the data is in the same platform, we can simply create.
So this is for your customers, right?
This is for a customer, yeah, it is. So we can make the what is it in English? The
chart, yeah.
The charts, exactly. And we just link them or connect them to the data we already have in the system. So everything, you can create every chart you want as a dashboard. The funny thing is that we are now creating, and I cannot see it because the thing is
Robert
like
says,
this.
Yes, sorry, I'm on a train, so I missed some of it. And he's like, are there reporting graphs or charts? So yes, there are. To clarify, Robert, we prepared, Bob and I prepared the presentation, and we were like, okay, we got to make sure that we only have demo data, so we don't have all the charts, but this is a huge one that you can see now. But the dashboard does have charts on it if there's actual client data, but obviously we don't want to breach any laws by showing you accidentally real customer data. So we decided to go with a more empty test version of the application.
Exactly. So this is a funny thing. It's too much data in here. But this is actually from ourselves. We are now creating a dashboard that gives the insight of the target audiences of our customers, so we can see exactly which target audience has positive trends, and just to focus on them. So here you can see what we have been calling. These are all kind of markets in the Netherlands. And if you see 21 were interested in this kind of market, we can focus more on that kind of market. So that's something that we are building right now.
Cool. Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, so yeah, I just saw that was the question. Are there more questions? If there's more questions, please ask them, because then we can answer them. And Marta will check if there's some also on the socials. I see another one. How did you map the actions? Was there a protocol?
Sorry.
So how did you map the actions? Do you mean the actions like the trigger process, or did you mean the actions as in like what the people at Mesara do for their customers? Robert, he's on a train, so it's. He says, yes, the steps you wanted to manage. Yeah. So the steps that you wanted to manage, how did you map those? How did you build those? Was there a protocol for that, or did you just do that?
Yeah, we had a protocol. Every company has the protocols in their heads, or it's written on paper. So we have our processes, and we just made the processes in Triggre. And it's something. It's quite for me. It's very difficult now to explain. But if you have it in your mind, you know the processes. You can very easy build them in the flows in Triggre.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So basically what you're saying is like, look, there's not like some sort of like very rigid protocol that I had to adhere. It's more like this was our process and we made that into an application, and that's how you sort of made those steps happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. I see that Gonzalo on LinkedIn asked, does the app have a limit of clients it can support? I can answer this, I think. So from the point of well, maybe Bob's time is limited. I don't know about that. I don't know how many more franchises he's going to open in the next week. I think this is the speed that we're talking about. But the app does not have normally a limit of clients or anything that it can support from our end as Triggre. If Bob wants to build in a limit, then he can build that in. Obviously, he can if he wants to. But for us, basically what we do is in our platform, you saw some of those processes. And so our platform, you pay for the number of actions that you use. And so every time that you use a bit of the platform, whether that's because you have more users or because you made more functionality for existing users, the number of actions that you use goes up. So basically, the more that you use, the more you pay. And obviously, there's the price per action goes down the more actions you have in your subscription. And the reason that we do that is because we want to really make sure that every time that you sort of consider like, hey, I'm going to use Triggre for this, or I'm going to use something else, that we want Triggre to be the most, just like the fastest, the least expensive solution that you can get. And this is why we do that. And we feel that if Bob is happy, he'll add more functionality to his application. If he's not, he won't. So this means that we're always sort of our goals are aligned with Bob's goals, namely that he wants to grow his company. And if his company grows and we support him in that way, then that's good for us. So that's the idea. So I hope that answers your question. Unless Bob has built in some sort of limit for clients, but I can't imagine that you have, being a sales guy.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see.
Bob, I've got a question.
Oh, Joshua has got a question in. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious how many tools you think you have removed from your process by consolidating them all into Triggre.
How many?
Do you know?
Let's see. We have the CRM. We have the customer portal. We have the employee portal. We have the project management. I haven't shown that one because our project team is having checklists, and every campaign, everything is in it. So we have the HR. We are adding the marketing. We are adding the invoicing. So how far are you? 7. We will be adding the invoice. Yeah, enough.
Yeah. Wow.
What are you doing with the marketing?
We will be building in the mailings by email. So we can send out the mailings that are in our CRM, the prospects in our CRM. And we'll be going much further than that, but we are still building and thinking about it.
Nice.
Also in the customer portal, they have the Mestara news. So every time they open their portal, there's a news item in it as well.
I have another question on Facebook. I see, Joshua, I see which business process was the most difficult to transfer to the application, Ingeborg asks.
Not in terms of building it, but in terms of thinking about the steps and everything that we get into the system. So actually, the thinking, the process thinking was much difficult. It was the calling application for us.
Yeah,
that has it has the most steps, but building it was quite easy.
Yeah, that's the most. So that's just because the process itself is that intricate. You mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Joshua, any more questions that you have? Because I just noticed this one.
I'm curious to know, on the back of my previous question, if you have ever calculated your cost saving.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to share? I think.
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
question.
So now I have saved with throwing out all the other softwares, separate softwares. I think it was around 6,000 euros a month.
6,000 a month. Wow.
Yeah, and the most expensive was the calling application. Saves us a lot of money.
Yeah, that's serious business.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And how about if you had started, when you started, did you start the company on your own?
Yeah, that's a funny story. I had an amazing job as a commercial director of American multinational. I had 4 sales teams. I was running 4 sales teams. It was a great job. And I had a huge amount of budget for sales and marketing. But people in my network, entrepreneurs, they said, I don't have that. No, I don't have the budget. I have to do it all by myself. And I hate cold calling. And I think if you can raise that question in this group here, almost everybody will say the same. I hate cold calling. So I wrote a business plan of Mestare, and I quitted my job. And I started, I bought a laptop and a headset, and I started on the kitchen table calling for myself, prospects. And within a year, we were 10 employees in the middle of Rotterdam. And see now we have 4 locations and 47 now just employees.
Wow. I think that Ingeborg asked a follow-up question, which is, were there other employees from your company who helped develop the app directly?
Not directly. So I've built everything on my own, but they gave me the feedback that I needed to make it practical for them. Yeah.
So basically, you're the only one clicking the buttons in the Triggre platform, but obviously everyone's free to suggest things and help you sort of streamline the processes, because obviously those people that work with it every day have the best feedback for you. I mean,
exactly.
I notice myself that feedback often comes from the people that have to use it day by day, that you think you design a process in a way that it's really handy for people, and they go like, you know what, it's better if you do it this way. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joshua, anything?
Looks like there's a question here from Anne from Twitter. Yeah. What is your advice for other founders that want to create an app but don't know where to start?
The advice.
Yeah.
My advice should be just go play with it, add some flows, add some data, get used to the system, and learn how to do the steps. And there's a great learning possibility in Triggre as well, just to see the videos with the explanation, and it's already quite enough to just watch the videos and do it by yourself, and you will see in the matter of time you will get used to everything, and you start building quite fast. Like I did the CRM, it was a couple of days.
Oh, yeah, you built your own, like it's completely custom. So I mean, because you didn't even use the template that we offer, right? You started building everything from scratch.
From scratch. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
And that's also a thing, like you said, Jesse. There are templates you can use and start building from there. So that could be a good solution as well to get some quicker, to the point that you want to be.
Yeah. That's it depends. Like I think if like Anne says, like if you want to create like an application, but you don't know exactly like what yet. So if you want to, I would also say, like, obviously Bob had a really good idea for his company. So he started with his company, and then he supported it with software that's our software is very flexible in that sense. And then I think that as you then go, you get versed in the system and you know how it works, and so you see more opportunities of things to support with it. And that's exactly what we wanted back when we started with Triggre, is like, we want entrepreneurs that sort of have the medium and smaller businesses to actually be able to make their custom software, because you see that, if you're a large company, then there's usually budgets that you can pull from somewhere, and you can have it developed for a lot of money. But like the budgets that we were talking about that you save on standard software are quite high already. And that is obviously for small companies. I mean, that's a full-time employee that you're talking about, maybe even two, depending on where you are. That is basically the level of savings that you make, which is quite insane. If you then think about like what that can mean in terms of like how much more execution power that gives your company. So I would say, if you, I would take Bob's advice, like play around with Triggre, for example, and then see like you'll see sort of the things that you can do. I see that we're currently, those were the questions for now. So I will do one more thing. So we've had the questions. I hope that the answers were satisfying. We've covered a lot of ground, I think. So thank you, Bob, for showing everything, and for your willingness to also set up a test environment so that we could actually show it, and explaining it and answering the questions.
My pleasure.
So yeah, for those people that are in here or on the live stream, we want more people like Bob to join us. So what we do is, for webinar participants, we have a special offer. You can, I'll give you a link in a moment, and that link will get you a free Q&A, where if you have an idea, you can ask us whether we can do something Triggre for you. So what we then offer is, we have a couple of levels. We do want to help you get started. And what we do is we offer, for example, a pioneer package. It's a starter package where we actually have one of our partners help you setting up your first version of your application in 2 days. And what we ask you to do is get a subscription for 10,000 actions a month for 69 euros. And we ask a 12-month commitment or 1-year commitment for that. And basically that saves you about 2,000 euros, because that implementation, that setup that we will do, we'll build that MVP for you. That's free in that sense. So we only ask you to commit to 12 months of paying 69 euros a month. So it's even spread out to get 2 days for free. But obviously, if you're a little bit bigger, then you might want to have more days or a bigger application. And so we have business, where you get 4 days of a partner implementation from us for having a subscription for 129 euros a month. And bigger than business is obviously Jumbo. So we also offer that for larger applications. And since it's all the Elon Musk time and everything, we also have Rockets these days, where you get 8 days of implementation for really large applications. To give you an idea, Bob, do you know how many actions you use per month on your application right now, by any chance? Like,
no idea.
No idea. Okay.
No idea.
Okay. Well, that was not a helpful question by me, but basically what we know from internal and from our customers is 500,000 actions per month is insane amounts. With 10,000, you can do a lot already. So you can have a very expansive application, and we'll help you set that up, get you up and running very quickly. So what you can do is, if you want to get started with this, just so it starts at 69 and you can save up to 8,000. This is a link that you can scan, or you can go to this link today, and this will get you a Q&A, so a Calendly link where you can plan a session. It's completely free of charge, no strings attached. So just to talk, see if your idea works with us, and we'll tell you if it doesn't work. We'll tell you as well. We don't want people that are unsatisfied with our product. So if you are saying like, look, I want to build rocket ship software, we'll tell you, you know what, not really with Triggre. But if you have a business idea, then we'll help you very happily. So make sure to go to this link or that. I see that Marta has linked it in the chat for everyone, so you can use that. Yeah, then we'll hope to see you. And feel free to also just get a free starter account and get started. Joshua, is there anything that I have missed that you want to say and wrap it up?
I don't think so. Just thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Bob, for walking us through your processes. It was really interesting to get insights into a sales professional. So thank you for taking the time to do that. And at NCF, we're going to be doing more webinars like this with other founders. So I'll be in touch with more details on that as well. But thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jesse, for setting this up as well.
You're welcome. And thank you for hosting us. Thanks, Bob, again, for your application and the showing. And we'll see each other soon, everyone. Bye-bye.